We should have done the show. We should have had like all reserve teams. Like we all got to. We should have had the Avs crew.
Get Aaron on here.
Yeah, they're like, what? What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Winners Lounge.
Let's go.
Nuggets.
That's right.
Hey, a surprisingly fun and vibey win in Detroit. I did not see that coming. I didn't see that coming before the game. I didn't see it coming at the end of the first half, and I certainly didn't see that at the end of, at the end of halftime, as Jokic was ejected. But they get the win anyway. Christian Brown breaks out. Reggie Jackson, the closer. And what do we make of this ejection? All of that and more today on the show. And I don't know, maybe we'll do a little ATA just to satiate this man over here, Brendan Vogt.
Why would we do that? Did something happen around the league time? I'm just focused on the Nuggets. What a win.
Should we just
First
start
of all,
with ATA segment 1?
Segment 1 might be our top story. First of all, that was a lie.
I did pull up the Celtics game in the fourth quarter. Yeah.
He was more locked into that Celtics one.
That's not true. It was the secondary screen, but it was up. It was up during crunch time. Not gonna lie.
Oh, over here, we've got Harrison Wynn.
Oh, man. I don't know how vibesy I'm feeling after that win, but a win is a win.
I know. This is funny because I see this on the timeline, too.
I feel
like
great.
people I kind of am like,
Yeah,
this
you
was
feel
awesome.
great because the Celtics lost.
No, it's a
man.
good Nuggets win. That's a good Nuggets win.
I'm over on this side.
Well,
Let's
of course it's a good win.
No,
of course it's a good win.
It's a little vibey for me, but we can
Okay.
debate it. We
All
can
right.
debate it.
You
And
can
then
keep your vibes.
Superstar Dev, where are the vibes for you? Are you over here? Are you over there?
I'm just not gonna lie. I'm very opposite of Harrison. That was a
Oh,
big
shut
win.
up,
That was a good win. That
People
was a
on
good
the
win.
show lying
That
right
was a
now.
good one.
People are lying their
How
asses
do you
off
not
on
get
this
happy
show.
about that win?
I'm happy. I'm just not like jumping out of my seat.
Even your guy played well tonight. This
He's
know,
been playing
man.
well for like 3-4 games now, so
Nothing
slow your
new.
roll.
I might have to
Nothing new.
become the official Christian Brown guy on this pod.
maybe
I
you
don't
might
know.
have to. Guys, how about a little fast breakdown? What do you say?
Sure.
Oh man, I'm telling you, I'm telling you, this happens every time. My first note is always the note of the game, and I don't plan it that way. First note: Jokic frustrated early.
Yeah, that was very clear.
Did you carry that?
Literally,
Did you carry?
Jokic frustrated early is my very first note of the game. He seems bothered. He seems upset about something. Then he picked up a tech. Slow start from the Nugs, but they make a couple subs, and then they make a big run. Christian Brown, big part of that. Pickett did not come in until Jokic went out, so no staggered minutes tonight. That was a change from Michael Malone's rotation, and I liked it. I like the idea of bringing in no point guard first to get the Jokic minutes, and then go with the point guard, Jalen Pickett, and then part-time Reggie Jackson with the second. I like it. Great adjustment. Big fan. Also, big fan of Peyton Watson being back in the rotation. That's notable. And then Michael Malone, he'd seen enough, you guys. First quarter, seen enough. Double technical, gets himself kicked out. We'll talk about that later. The bench looked great, though. That all-bench unit it was all bench, no starters, looked really good, and they actually built a lead 27-23 at the end of the first quarter. Tenacious Zeke made an appearance in the second quarter, and the bench survived the non-Jokic minutes. He didn't grab a rebound per se, but he did run around a little bit. Then the starters check back in and just can't get a rhythm. It was really ugly, really clunky. Michael Porter Jr. in particular had an awkward second quarter. I would call it awkward, and a rhythmless second quarter. And then Jokic gets ejected. Frustrated. Thought he got hit by Marvin Bagley. Marvin Bagley, I think, was playing in foul trouble, so maybe the refs were giving a little extra leeway.
To Marvin Bagley.
To Bagley, I mean, it's Bagley. You know, you gotta. He's a number 2 pick.
Former 5-star recruit.
5-star recruit, number 2 pick. You gotta, gotta get star calls for the stars. Jokic gets ejected. He's out of there. Jokic, I think, must have said something like throw me out of this game then, because the ref kind of looked at him and goes, okay, like he kind of gives him one of those like, if that's what you want. So who knows? We'll probably find out later on what it was, but he's ejected. He's out of there. Reggie got a drive at the buzzer to give the Nuggets a lead, 56-55, but somber going into the half. Somber going into the half.
It's a big
Quite the
distinction.
opposite.
Yeah.
All right, Jokic is out the game, so who are they going to start, guys? Zeke? Are they going to start DeAndre? What are you going to do? Christian Brown, you go in for Jokic. We're going super tiny. Nuggets playing hard but can't get anything going. That's the story really of the entire second half. Christian was attacking hard. That was the only thing working for the Nuggets was Christian was like a fullback running right up the gut every single time. No moves, no nothing, just attack.
He did do the first move of his career tonight.
He did do the first move, and he smoked the layup. What a bummer. 81-79 Nuggets. And then to start the fourth quarter, the Nuggets immediately fall behind by 5. Michael Porter hit a couple of big-time threes. He finally got some threes to get going in that fourth quarter. Nuggets were playing really small, but they couldn't rebound. They did not trust Zeke or their bigs in this game, so they went small a lot, but they couldn't grab a rebound. Reggie had a floater to and an and one to tie the game with 3 minutes and 38 seconds left. Cade Cunningham had a tough drive and finish. He was going at Christian Brown in the fourth quarter. Very noteworthy that was his mark for whatever reason, and it was working. Then Aaron Gordon hit 2 big free throws. Then Cade Cunningham drew a shooting foul the other direction. Then KCP had a drive and putback, so we're going back and forth. Nuggets finally get a stop. Reggie gets a fast break, and the Nuggets take their first lead. About 2 minutes to go. Cade scores on Christian again. Reggie Jackson gets a lob to Aaron Gordon for an and one. The Nuggets go up 3, and they would not look back. Michael Porter, big-time block on Isaiah Stewart on a scramble play. Looked like a broken play. They were going to get an easy layup. Michael Porter comes in and gets a block. Then Reggie Jackson gets blocked. Aaron Gordon blocks Oscar Thompson. Guys, the last minute of this game was nothing but guys getting their shot blocked. Aaron Gordon missed an ISO against Stewart. Cade misses an ISO against AG. And then a great contest off of the rim. KCP jumps vertical on Cade Cunningham. Cade misses the layup. And then Reggie goes down and gets the free throws to ice the game. This was a close game. I give all of those highlights because it wasn't sexy. None of those plays were like amazing. It was like somebody has to go into the mud and pull this game out. And tonight it was the Denver Nuggets. They get the win. All right, Dev, start us off. What's your big takeaway?
My big takeaway is I can't believe how much I wanted that game. I can't believe that they pulled off that game. I can't believe that Jokic got ejected. Can't believe Malone got ejected.
Yeah.
Can't believe that they played that well on defense in the second half.
Yep.
And I can't believe that Reggie Jackson won the game for the Denver Nuggets.
I can't believe that part.
I can't believe that. That was a wild game. I think that was a big game for the Nuggets. Not in the sense of like you beat the Pistons, but it's how you did it.
Yeah.
There was a lot in that game, and it was just how you did it. That was a big game.
Yeah,
it was a big game for sure. You needed this one, man. You needed this one starting the road trip 0-2.
Yeah.
With this being just by far the easiest game on this 5-game road trip. It didn't stay that way after the first quarter, but they definitely needed it. My big takeaway was Reggie Jackson. I feel like I'm the only one in Denver who had any faith in Reggie Jackson coming off of last season. I feel like I'm the only one on this panel
You're pulling a D
who
line
had
here.
any faith on Reggie Jackson coming into this season.
You're sitting next to
You guys all dismissed him. I had the faith in Reggie Jackson.
Wow.
And what has he done since Jamal Murray's gone down? He's been incredible, man. 18 points against the Clippers, 14 against New Orleans, 21 tonight, 6 assists, 0 turnovers. This guy's been awesome stepping in for Jamal Murray. He's scoring the ball, which is what Denver actually needs the most with Jamal Murray out. He's taking care of it. 0 turnovers tonight.
That's crazy, 0 turnovers.
He had 0 turnovers against the Warriors when he had 20 points a couple weeks ago. He's been phenomenal this season, man. Phenomenal. And everything that he said and the Nuggets said about him over the summer has come true. The time he spent in Denver, the time he spent around the coaching staff, learning the offense, it's all helped. And he is completely different than the player he was last year, and the Nuggets have needed it. They've desperately needed it.
That was impassioned, man.
Thank you.
That was impassioned.
Thank you.
I haven't seen that kind of passion out of Wind in a while, man.
Well,
That
Christian
was
Brown has
intense.
been playing that well this season. So.
No, but honestly, I love that you brought up that Reggie stayed in Colorado all summer because that was a storyline that kind of went under the radar. And as Reggie tells it, he just loves basketball. So what else am I going to be doing? Like, I just like to be in the gym. That's where I like to be. But I do think there was something more to it. Like, he could have stayed in the gym anywhere, but he wanted to be here. And I do think there was a little bit of Reggie last year. He wins a championship, but he's cut out of the rotation. And he gets it. I think he went into the summer and was like, they're investing in me. That's a big contract he got. And I think it was like, no, man, I want to contribute. I know I could fit in. I like this team. I like the vibe of it. I know I can do better. And the early returns are enormous for Reggie Jackson.
My big takeaway is that was a very, very well-timed ejection by Michael Malone. And subsequently, the bench looked inspired and played well. And I think you could make an argument, now that the dust has settled and they won, that this was an optimal outcome for the bench and for players, let's say, 5 through 10 on this roster. No Jokic, no Jamal. Malone gets ejected. They got to go and win that game. And Christian Brown there was nowhere to hide. Like, everyone was going to get minutes. People had to figure out how to dig deep and produce. So Reggie, who's coming off a terrible game, digs deep, finds it. I thought AG responded really well in the fourth. Like, he's had a couple of poor games, and he responded well. I liked some of the Julian minutes. Like, this can be the kind of Michael Porter, Aaron Gordon, like those guys, they don't really need to be galvanized. For them, a win is a win. But for the rest of the roster, this could be exactly what it took for them to sort of, okay, we saw ourselves succeed. We got a little something going. I'm feeling more confident. And I bet there were a little vibes in the locker room tonight.
I bet you there were some vibes in there, and this wasn't a pretty game. Like, this was a slog of a game when Jokic went out. But I'm with you that I think this can be a vibes win or like a vibes boost. And it's actually my big takeaway, which is Jokic has been incredible to start this year. I'm worried, and we'll talk about this later on, he's maybe been too incredible. He's maybe been going a little too hard and putting too much on him. But the consequence sometimes of having a Jokic is that the right play is always to go through Jokic. And that can throw off a rhythm. That can throw off the way you're playing any other type of basketball. And I think that him going out tonight, Murray going out, and Malone going out tonight, while it was ugly as hell offensively, I do feel that there was a little bit of a, okay, there's other things we can do on the court that's not Jokic, and this gives a little bit of confidence. Guys were struggling, I thought, with their confidence tonight, and have been for a handful of games. And as this game went on, it's like, no, we can win an ugly game because we have talent. And guys like Christian Brown were a part of it. Guys like Aaron Gordon were a big part of it. Guys like KCP were a big part of it. You mentioned Reggie Jackson. But even Peyton Watson tonight gives you good minutes in the clutch, in the fourth quarter. So I feel like this is the Nuggets, others needed a confidence boost. And they got one tonight in getting a win in an ugly game when they didn't have Jokic.
Exactly.
I think it's a great point. Going back to last year, I remember Michael Malone talking about how kind of pissed off it made the Nuggets role players whenever, the stats were brought up, whether the plus minus was brought up about how terrible they were when Nikola Jokic was not on the court.
Right.
Like, that's something that seeped into the locker room last year, and it's a conversation that guys were aware of. And the fact that they can go out and win a game, doesn't matter the opponent, win an NBA game, win a basketball game without Nikola Jokic, and you have a lot of guys up and down the roster, starters and reserves, doing really positive things. No doubt that's going to be a huge confidence boost to the locker room. Absolutely.
Yeah, the entire time, they just did not panic. They saw their guy leave. They saw their coach leave. And this is a pretty young team, a team that has not played a bunch together and don't have a lot of NBA minutes. And they were just like, okay, we're poised, we're under control, and we're going to make things happen. And it's not a coincidence that the two guys that stepped up in this game are the two vets on the team with Reggie Jackson, KCP. They were like, okay, we're still under control because we're going to still do the things that have been instilled in us. The way that Jokic and Denver basketball has been is even when he's not out there, they still have to play a certain way that you can still make it up. Like, we got to see that identity that has been lacking step up in this game where it was, okay, we're going to go all defense, or we're going to, get the open shot, or we're just going to just play harder than the rest. And we had not been seeing that for a while. I don't care that it was the Pistons. It was the Pistons without Jokic. So that's a pretty even team, but they were like, no, this is not even. We're better than them. Yeah. And we're going to show that we're better than them.
Having said that, and I agree with the point, like, that was a narrow margin a thin line between a horrendous loss and a tremendous win. And I'm very happy to be on this side of it. Having said that, my second biggest takeaway is that the Pistons stink. They might want to they might want to pack it up.
Well, they have lost now 12 in a row.
Yeah, but I mean,
they
like,
really do stink.
You're like, all right, guys, we really got to get one. Maybe this one?
Yeah.
No. Nope.
You know what? But I am going to throw that out there that it's still an NBA team, and the Nuggets still, had chaos thrown their way with Jokic going out. Like, if you go into a game prepared for Jokic to be out, that's one thing. when that happens in the middle of nowhere,
Right.
And it wasn't just him; it was also Michael Malone. Like those are variables that get entered into an equation. And again, I thought Denver looked disgusting tonight for most of the game. This was not a pretty one.
And you got a lot of really quality players on the Pistons. Cade Cunningham.
Yeah, yeah. Keep
Also
going.
Thompson?
Cade
No,
Cunningham.
keep going. And then there's
Also Thompson.
I understand that reference. That was so good.
Who was that?
Wilbon.
Who was it?
Wilbon.
Wilbon. Yeah, Wilbon. That was a good one. The other about playing ugly. Here's the thing, and here's a big takeaway I have for the Nuggets others, because I think Michael Porter is out of rhythm right now, and maybe he got a little rhythm going. I think that Christian Brown was out of rhythm until very recently, and he got going a little bit. I think that guys like Peyton Watson and Zeke Naji have been a little out of rhythm lately. Here's the thing. Basketball's not making mistakes, doing the right thing, and then making plays. I always say this. One way you make plays, especially on the offensive end, is just to go balls to the wall. And tonight, neither team was going to win pretty tonight. But Denver got extra possessions when they needed extra possessions. They got stops when they needed stops. They got block shots when they needed block shots because there were breakdowns. And to me, I think Christian Brown had this realization 3 or 4 games ago of like, I'm not fitting in where I thought. I'm not getting the driving lanes or I'm not making my shot. But you know what I can do? Just enter some chaos into this game and go crazy. And through that, he's gotten out of his slump. And I hope that tonight, when I say I hope that the bench and some of these guys got confidence and got rhythm, it was because of that. They didn't have shots. The offense didn't flow. They just made something out of nothing. And it's like, oh, yeah, I can always do that.
Yeah.
Dude, Christian Brown, I know this is going to be the KCP Reggie Jackson game, but Christian Brown really won this game for them. The moment that he got in, he was just poised the entire time. And he really did create that chaos. He created that defensive anchor for that unit, and it was with the starters and the backups, where it was just like, I'm just going to play under control. He has earned Adelman's trust, Malone's trust. He's playing extra minutes because he's playing hard the entire time. That, yeah, maybe earlier in the season it wasn't going for him confidence-wise. It wasn't there offensively, but he works his way into smart plays or better plays. He's playing hard and finishing around the rim. He's cutting when he needs to. Yeah. He's attacking every time that they have to foul him, but he's doing exactly what's needed. And other guys around him are like, okay, maybe we don't get it going offensively, but we're going to try to match that energy. I think that he's just like a accelerator for that unit, and we got to see that in this game.
Yeah.
Don't you feel like all offseason players work on the pretty part of the game? And it's almost like you forget that that's only half the game.
Yeah, well, up until the last 4 games, it seems like Christian Brown forgot what got him into the playoff rotation last year.
Yeah.
It felt like he forgot who he was. And these last 4 games, he's gotten back to being himself, man. I mean, he's playing with so much more aggression over this last week than he did in the first couple weeks of the season. Every time he gets it, he's just looking to push the pace now. He's looking to just get to the rim, create contact, and just make stuff happen at the same level he did last year. So it's just been this realization, I think, from him about what got him to this point, what he did so well last year, and he's been a different player these last 4 games.
By the way, 2 of 2 from 3 tonight. Sometimes you do the little stuff and then the
there's
big
no
stuff
doubt.
comes to
The
you.
game rewards you for playing ethically.
But also, it goes back to your big takeaway, or just your point about Jokic. A lot of these guys all know how to play basketball, which is different than playing for the reigning champion Denver Nuggets.
Right.
And in terms of fitting into your role. And so there is a little bit of, that stuff went away tonight, and it's all that was left was you, the other team, and the ball. Go be a player. You know what to do. And you can maybe kind of burst your way through the other side of the indecision, fear, whatever it was, tentativeness. Just get yourself going. And there's no doubt that that's what Christian's done in the last 3 or 4 games. And without necessarily changing, he just went right. He just said, I'm going to just start going to the rim. I'm just going to play harder. And he's one of those players that is able to summon that and channel that when they need it. And the last 3-4 games, I'll say this. This right here is what Bruce Brown was in the regular season for Denver. He wasn't making plays or setting guys up or hitting step back threes or any of that. He would just push and run and push. And Christian can do that. So it's good to see him get back to that. He's been awesome.
You look like Pedro Pascal right now.
Thank you.
That's a compliment. I love that dude. I don't know if it's the shirt or what.
What do you think of my take? Did you hear it?
I couldn't stop looking at you because you look like Pedro
Thank you.
Pascal.
No, it's a nice compliment.
Guys, let's take a quick break. On the other side, we'll get to some of the other players on the roster and kind of critique some of the guys who maybe didn't stand out as much, but maybe there were some positives there as well.
Bet365 is never ordinary. Never ordinary.
How'd we do tonight,
at
Devs?
Bet365? How
we
did we
had Jokic.
We did have some
other things.
Did Jokic hit all of his
Big
numbers
Jokic
tonight?
night.
Do we have a big Jokic night tonight out there?
No.
Man.
But the other things were pretty well.
Okay. At Bet365 right now, you can take advantage of their NBA early payout offer. Get your straight bets paid out or parlay paid
Yeah,
out.
I won money tonight.
Yeah, we did pretty
Yeah,
well.
it was
Only
great
the
tonight,
Jokic.
despite the fact that I bet on Jokic. You know how wild it would have been if Dev was like, I'm not feeling Jokic tonight, guys. I think he's going to get kicked out. We're like, what?
Yeah, that
Like,
would been
man,
rough.
you're in the NBA ref group text.
That's true. Yeah, he got the script.
No, I was hanging out with them last night. You guys
Bro,
didn't-
I'm telling you. Yep, Reggie bet hit. Christian bet hit. Jokic did not hit.
KCP's, steals.
Michael Porter hit. Man, look at this.
Well, I mean, big night for the role players without Nikola Jokic.
Isaiah Stewart even hit. I can't believe I got that one. Look at this.
But yeah, you guys can get your straight bets paid out or
Great-
parlay
great
paid
day,
out
man.
and marked as a
Crushed.
winner when your team goes up by 20 points. So as long as your team goes up by 20 points, you win. Pretty awesome deal from Bet365 right there. So what you got to do is download the Bet365 app. Use code DNVR365 at sign up. You can take advantage of that early payout offer. It must be 21 plus and physically located in Colorado. Please gamble responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER.
Backus and Shanker are really cool for a long list of reasons. One of them is that they really don't charge you to speak to them. So if you're seeking a consultation on an accident at work, in a car accident, as a pedestrian, most importantly, it was not your fault. You know what to do. Just pick up your phone, find the number 2, dial 222-2222, or visit coloradolaw.net. Again, these guys will not charge you a consultation fee. In fact, they'll even take on your case for free. They're not going to charge you until they've won, which they do. They've got neighborhood offices in Denver, Aurora, Englewood, and Fort Collins. They've got the strength and power to win your case. Call them at 222-2222 to find out if you have a case for free. Backus and Shanker, they win.
Nuggets get 30 assists tonight, by the way, which is really good for not having Jokic. You still managed to get 30 assists and only on 107 points. So,
Well, when Mike has 2.
that's true, Mike. Hey, speaking
what
of
I mean?
which, this is 4 games in a row without an assist. He picks up 2 tonight. He also goes 4 of 9 from the 3-point line, including some big ones. You want to start with Mike?
It's just funny for the last month, it seemed like everything's there but the shot. Last 2 games, the shot has been there. 5 of 9
Right.
last game, 4 of 9 tonight. Great shooting nights. Everything else, not so much. The rebounding was good tonight.
Yeah, he got some boards.
And he had that great block at the end of the game.
Big time
which
play,
mattered.
timely.
I actually thought defensively he took a step forward from the last game when he was not very good. My big thing with Mike tonight was the 4 turnovers. And Mike, for as mistake prone as he is, it usually doesn't manifest that way. Mike does not turn the ball over a ton. So for him to miss as many shots and turn the ball over 4 times, his decision making was poor tonight. And I know he's not a Jokic, but like he was missing wide open guys and just kind of weird stuff like that. Having said that, the shot does look much better to me, and that's a big silver lining. That matters.
Yeah, the shot was the biggest part of his game that stood out. 4 of 9 from 3. He had 5 threes last night. Now we just got to get the other stuff going, which he already had going.
Oh, boy.
I think it's awesome to just not think about like him playing on second nights of back-to-backs or even having to worry
Man,
about that.
great point.
He
Great
played
take.
38 minutes in this game after playing a lot of minutes last night. And
Right.
that's an afterthought. And he was still super active in this game, especially. I don't think that he made great decisions defensively, but he was active. Like,
Yeah.
he was a disruptor, especially late in the game where he's coming up with blocks or grabbing every single rebound. I feel like every, like, loose ball rebound, he just jumped over a guy and just grabbed the board. In this one, he had 11 rebounds.
Yeah.
Like those are big plays. And then also, like we said, like the offense is starting to come together where I just feel like the shot is back. Like I'm like fine with him taking open shots, and I'm like, oh, that's gonna go in.
Yeah.
So like it's slowly coming together, but it's great to see that the shot is still falling. And also, this was a game that they had to kind of run the offense through him. And we know, like, he loves being in those type of situations. So I felt like they were under control on offense because they were like, oh, we still have Michael Porter Jr. who could just create his own.
Yeah.
Yeah. If we go to the bench here, Peyton Watson tonight just gets 13 minutes. He had 4 points, 1 rebound, 2 assists. He did get a block. He was 1 of 2 shooting and a +5. I feel like first of all, he's back in the rotation, which is meaningful since he did not play in last game. But I actually thought that Malone's message to him has got to be the thing I just said about just go out there and play hard, man. Like, you're going to make mistakes. Try to make it every game, try to make fewer mistakes than the game before. But every game you have to maintain the same level of intensity. And he's one guy that I wonder if it just waned a little bit. Maybe it had something more to do with shooting that Justin Holiday got in there. But he gets a chance tonight, and I don't think he did anything that was necessarily spectacular. He also didn't really stand out in a negative way tonight, which I think is important.
Yeah, I thought he was solid. I don't feel like he's been making a ton of mistakes, but just one here or one there that are just really loud. And he's just got to continue to do the thing that Nikola Jokic told him to do, which is do the things that nobody else wants to. He got a block tonight. That was big.
2 of them, right?
They only gave him credit for 1. Yeah. But the fact that he was just in the positives tonight, +5, and the fact that the 4 members of the bench were in the positives, Julian Strawther wasn't. When you can just look at the box score after the game and see you're in the positives, that's got to feel nice.
Yeah.
After these last couple games in this stretch where the bench has been just huge in the negatives.
Yeah, Malone, challenged them, like, to just be out there, like, just to really just prove yourself while you're out there and to bring some energy. On the second night of a back-to-back, you're definitely going to be needed in this game. And then Jokic leaves, and you really have to, like, step up. He got a DNP, so like that actually motivates a young guy to be like, okay, I have to play harder. I have to bring that energy, or I really am going to get benched. So Malone has him exactly where he wants him, and it's up to Peyton on like, do I want to play or do I not want to play? Because I have to, be a disruptor the entire time, and he has the defensive like instincts and things to make those type of plays, and he did in this game. You don't have to score every time for you to be active. You don't have to score to be part of the rotation. You just have to play hard. So this was a game that I felt like he brought some energy in it. While it wasn't a standout on the scoreboard type of game, you got to play.
Here's what I really love, Vogt. I love the rotation tonight in the first half. I love that Michael Malone brought Pickett in with the second unit, and that second unit was a full second unit. It had Pickett, Christian, Peyton, Zeke, and Julian Strawther, which I actually liked. And I actually liked the way Pickett ran that group during that stint. Now, he was cut from the rotation in the second half, and I actually liked that as well. Denver needed to kind of shorten it and pull this one out. So I kind of like, if Malone can stick to what happened today, I think that it actually would be the perfect growth for Jalen Pickett. One, that second unit needs an identity. He's best when he is the identity, when the team is kind of rallying around him. Who else are you going to go to in that lineup? You might as well let him do his thing. And then it saves Reggie Jackson at the moment for the starter minutes. It saves that stagger a little bit better. I hope that that's one of the takeaways the coaching staff has from tonight.
Yeah, well, first of all, I really liked the no point guard AG kind of bring the ball up look with CB in there. Like that unit was great too. But there is something to, not just tethering Pickett or call into Jokic, but the idea is that Pickett is a real point guard and floor general. And so you get to let him be himself out there and get some reps as himself. And I liked that. That, as I recall, like that stretch went very well. And they even kept it going a little bit when Reggie came back in there. But that unit had something going. I liked the way Pickett played tonight, and I think it's notable that they were not the Jokic minutes, like you said. So there was something to there. By the end, it's all thrown off with no Jokic. But the first half rotation was intriguing tonight.
It's a 5-man bench lineup, though. It's no starters out there.
I know, but what's the difference? This is kind of my point. Is it's like, oh, we got to save it by giving them Aaron Gordon, and it's like that doesn't. They just weigh the starters down.
Man, I mean, my takeaway on that is like if the Nuggets can play an all 5 bench lineup, that's huge.
Yeah.
It's a massive, massive difference maker. I mean, that would be a solution to all the problems that have faced this second unit over the last couple of years, man. If they could find an all bench 5-man rotation, like, whew. Would be awesome.
Now, if they did play the Pistons, I don't know if they can.
For sure.
I don't know if they can,
Yeah.
but it was an interesting look. It was interesting.
I just like the idea of, like, with young players like that, it's a lot to ask him to play a ton of minutes. Like, I don't call for any of those Stroth or any of this. I think it's kind of nice that they get one stint, low leverage, and there's not the pressure on them. It's like every game you go out there, you get these 7 minutes or 6 minutes or whatever it is, and I just think that there can be a real positive to it. Let's talk real quickly about the Jokic ejection. Actually, we don't have to be too quickly. Where are we at timing-wise, KO? We're 30 in. All right, let's take a break. On the other side, we'll get to this. The Jokic ejection. I have a theory about it, you guys, that I actually think is kind of an important theory on the season.
Okay. All right.
We'll
Interesting
get
to hear. Breckenridge Brewery, the official beer of DNVR. If you're local, stop into the DNVR Bar. We got tons of Breck Brew on tap. Great crowd here at the bar tonight on a Monday night. Nuggets, Avs, Buffs, Monday Night Football going on. Tons of Breck Brew being poured. So if you're local, stop in. We got all your favorites on tap. If you're not, check out the Breck Brew Beer Locator on their website. Tells you exactly where to get Breckenridge Brewery. Just type in your zip code. Boom. Shows you exactly where to get Breck Brew no matter where you are. Breckenridge Brewery is the official beer of DNVR.
Man, I love sandwiches. I'm starting to get older. Sometimes I eat bread. I don't feel so good. I don't look so good. Enter Hero Bread. It's pretty cool to have a low carb and option that also might fit your dietary needs or constraints. Founder Cold Glass of Hero Bread baked 100 muffins per day before he found the perfect blend that fits his allergy constraints. That's what pushed him to start Hero Bread. So right now, if you're interested in a bread option that fits your dietary constraints or is a little healthier, Hero Bread is offering the DNVR fam 10% off their first order. Just go to hero.co and use our code DNVR to save on Hero Bread today. That's HERO.co to save 10% today.
Alrighty, back here, segment 3, DNVR Nuggets Podcast. So, here's my theory. Short off-season, short whatever, and we keep talking about how intense the Nuggets were at camp, how intense they were in the preseason, and then out the gate, unbelievable stretch. We asked on this very show whether or not Jokic is better than ever before because he was playing better, than we had ever seen him before, at least picking up where he left off in the playoffs, which was the best we'd ever seen of him. Dominant and intense. And I wonder if part of this is the in-season tournament. Those games in particular, we've seen players getting kicked out, choke holding people, and do different things. I wonder if this is the first year. This is an experiment of basketball in the NBA. And I kind of wonder if the combination between Jokic coming out of the gate and them wanting to get a good start, Murray going down and then he needs to pick up the slack, and then these random games that all of a sudden mean more than just regular games. They have this playoff level intensity or close to playoff level intensity. I wonder if all of those things have worn Jokic down more than ever before at this point. What do we always say about Jokic in November? Still ramping up, still not playing that hard. He's kind of like in second gear. I think Jokic's been in fourth gear all year, fourth or fifth gear, which is very rare for the first 14 games of the year. And we always say he makes these moves when he's upset, when he's tired, when he's fatigued. Jokic the last 3 or 4 games has looked really annoyed, really fatigued. And tonight he gets ejected because he asked for it, basically, getting these texts. What do you think, Dev?
I mean, that is a good it makes sense, like what you're saying. Especially because if we know there's one guy in the NBA that doesn't care for all of that extra stuff, it's Jokic. Like, it's a lot more, not pressure, but just like expectation that everyone else places that he just doesn't really think about, or he doesn't care in the same ways, but it's forcing, people to care. So maybe that does have something into it. I just think that he's kind of like just fed up with being fouled every single time, and like,
no doubt,
refs just not respecting like him and the way that he plays and things like that, where it gets old. It's not different than last year. It's not different than the year before, but he's like, hey, I'm a champion. I have earned this. I'm an MVP. Like everyone else gets this, different type of calls that I don't get. I think that it gets old for them. And really, those type of frustration plays comes from the big men usually. The guards don't have to go through those same type of things.
Because they get the calls.
They get the calls. So, like, the big men are the ones that have to go through that all the time. And he's just like, F this. Like, I'm tired of it.
To get fouls in today's NBA, you have to play the game. I'm serious, man. Like, when you watch a Tatum or an Embiid or a Lillard or any of these guys, they're deliberately doing moves to bump into you or whatever. And Jokic does a little bit of this, like where he's trying, he'll draw the contact there. But Jokic, for the most part, is trying to create space or do this or read the court. And I really do think it's frustrating because if Jokic just was always trying to bump into guys and throw things up, I honestly think he would get more BS foul calls.
Yeah. And it'd be less fun to watch him. And it's a tough, puts you in a tough spot as a fan, to be honest, because I don't really want him to start flopping.
No.
I just want them to start calling it. And I understand, like, I know there are two schools of thought on Nuggets Twitter right now, where it seems like you have to take a side of like, he can't do that. He has to assume more responsibility there. He can't get ejected versus I understand where he's coming from. Like
both are true.
And both are true. I don't think you have to be super principled about that.
Right.
It just was a boiling point and it is suboptimal, but it is what happened. My biggest thing is I just thought it was a soft ejection, but I don't know what he said. And that's like when it's something like that, he clearly said something.
Yeah.
But honestly, to me, it's just, I don't know. What do you guys think Draymond is screaming? You're a nice guy.
Come on my podcast.
I really like your haircut. Like,
I disagreed with that call.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's pointed. So
Right.
I actually feel like, unless he said throw me out right now, a part of me is like, and he might have, but a part of me is like, that was my biggest take was I just thought it was a soft ejection.
Yeah, it was a little soft, but he was also sitting on a technical at that point.
Right. I mean, that's true. That's true.
And he clearly said something. I think the ejection stemmed from two things tonight. One is kind of what you were saying, Adam, where his fuse is running a little short right now.
So short.
And I think that's mostly just because Jamal Murray's been out and he's had to do so much heavy lifting over this last couple week stretch. The second part of it, though, is he is fed up from not getting any calls. It started last night in Cleveland when he thought he was going to get thrown out of that game before the Nuggets subbed him out after those two straight offensive fouls called by Tony Brothers. And if I'm Jokic, I'm thinking like, man, they all told me that once I won a championship, I was going to get respect from officials. That's what I had to do, right? I had to win. Then I was going to start getting calls. That's what everybody said, right? Once you win, then you get the respect. Well, he won, and he's still not even in the top 10 in free throws per game. So I just think he's fed up about, to Dev's point, not getting the calls he should, guys being able to defend him with so much contact and him not getting to the line. And he's probably thinking, man, if I really did embellish calls and play the game, I would, but I care about the basketball gods too much to do that.
Michael Malone, I think, really needs to be the one to do this.
Yeah.
Michael Malone, Dev, if I'm not mistaken, he just got a contract that, as we were told, one of the most lucrative in all of the NBA, right? He's not hurting for money now.
Not hurting.
He just got a big deal. He has some money in his pocket. I would say, but it's a salesmanship job, and Malone is great at sales. He's a great salesman. The sale is, and we've seen the numbers, Jokic is hard to officiate. Shaquille O'Neal was hard to officiate. Great players who break the mold are hard to officiate, and the message needs to be, listen, guys, to your point, Jokic's not going out and doing this and falling over and bumping into guys the way like an Embiid or somebody. He doesn't do that. But at the same time, his skill set does make it difficult for guys like Marvin freaking Bagley to guard him in space, and you need to be aware of, hey, here's where he picks up fouls. He gets guys off balance and then attacks, and guys can't just hit him with his body or grab him and do these different things. So I think Malone needs to make a salesmanship pitch of saying, hey, it's like Shaq. He's hard to officiate, and you need to look for different things than what you typically look for with him and give him some damn respect instead of, and I'm telling you, that ref didn't call that one because it was contact, but was it enough to get a foul? That to me was more of a 50-50, 60-40 foul, but Bagley was sitting on a couple fouls, and I'm sure the ref is like, all right, if I'm going to give him his third, he's got to earn it. But it's like, it's the MVP versus Marvin Bagley. He doesn't have to earn it. Like that's the message.
Yeah, you just talked about that contract for Malone. Who got him that contract? got him that contract? So I really do feel like you need to go out there for your guy. You need to show up for him in every single way. Why did Malone get kicked out today?
I think he was trying to honestly protect Jokic.
But it was like on a Strother player, somebody like that. Like, use it on your guy and go get fined. Go talk after a game and talk about how it's not right that your guy has to go through this every single night. Talk about the same things that we're talking about you're going into the post every single time and you're not in the top 20 for free throws. Talk about the fact that you're playing the game the right way and you're not over embellishing these calls and you're still not getting them.
Kill.
Talk about a guy that dominates every single time inside the paint, outside of the paint, plays the game the beautiful way, and you still don't give it to him. So, like, there are things that Michael Malone could have done and he should be doing. So, like, I hope that he looks at this game and say, I should have gone out for my guy. This is me with my guy.
Yeah, he should have. Like, he's not making a point storming off and getting ejected in the manner that he did. Like, the refs are just going to look at that and be like, okay. Like, I don't think anything's going to change from that. And to your point, Adam, about him being hard to officiate, isn't that a problem with NBA officiating? If Nikola Jokic is hard to officiate?
Because he doesn't draw them, yeah.
And Joel Embiid is easy by that logic to officiate?
Yeah.
That means there's a problem with the officiating in this league if Nikola Jokic deserves these fouls and isn't getting them. He leads, close to leads the NBA in points in the paint. He posts up more than anybody in the NBA. It's a problem with the officiating above anything else.
Yeah.
The only thing I'm going to push back on is I actually liked Malone's ejection tonight. Like, I think the team was about to get the doors blown off of them. And he was like, hey, like, we got to wake up a little bit. So I agree it wasn't necessarily it was a defense of Jokic. I do think it woke everyone up. But I get that point as well because this is clearly on Jokic's mind. And the worst outcome is him getting ejected. Yeah. So it could be something where Malone overcompensates and says, let me put this on my shoulders.
I'm curious to see how they bounce back from this. You go up now to Orlando. Like, here's the thing about a road trip. They've got 2 more games. And the 5th one is a big one because it's the tournament game. So they have one more meaningless game. And look, Orlando, they've lost. They got blown out in Orlando, I believe, last year. They win the home one close. Like, by all intents and purposes, this game doesn't mean anything other than one random win or one random loss. And so I'm going to be curious to see is Jokic rejuvenated. One nice thing is 28 minutes last night.
Yep.
11 or something tonight. Like, maybe this is a little bit of a rest for Jokic. Like,
yeah,
a little bit of a reset. I don't know.
But I hate it. I really hate it in the fact of, like, that's going to take his averages down in every single way. You're not going to be able to see how
tanking his averages
really
right now.
is doing. Like, and the numbers mean a lot. Like, they do to guys that are not watching it every single night, that are not seeing that this is how he's being officiated, that this is how, things are going around there for him. So that's the only thing that I hate for it. Also, I don't like the fact that he has a short fuse. I love when he's playing his type of basketball and he's happy out there and he's just dominating because that's what he wants to do. But right now he does have a short fuse and that can wear and tear on a team that is missing Jamal. So like I wish it was different right now. I do.
And also, like, having the fuse that Jokic and Malone does, and they did in this game, it's not going to earn you more respect with the officials. It's not. It's probably going to earn you less respect with the officials, to be honest, if you show them up and get thrown out like that. Why is Draymond allowed to go off on the officials every single game and has a longer leash than everybody else? Well, it's obvious he has a great relationship with them, and that's something that Nikola Jokic does not have. It's something that he's really worked at, and it's something that he's gotten better with, but nights like tonight kind of erode that.
Yeah. All right, let's take a break. On the other side, some super chats as well as a little ATA.
It's so dope that they won.
It is so dope that they won, man. It saved this trip. If you lose that game, like,
Dude.
Oh my God, there's no saving the road trip. Now, 3-2 is on the table, 2-3 if you can get the tournament game. Mm-hmm. There's still some salvaging in it.
Guys, check out High Plains Strains. If you are in Log Lane Village, Garden City, or Sedgwick. So northeastern Colorado, they're the dispensary for you. You can save time by ordering ahead online at highplainstrains.com. Then you can pick up at their location And with winter coming, their drive-thrus at each location make it so you don't even have to get out of your car. How easy is that? They got some awesome deals going on right now. Use code DNVR online or mention DNVR in-store. Now through Green Friday, November 24th, you can get a half ounce for $45. Other Green Friday deals, a full ounce for $80. Veritas, eights for $25, and Mammoth 1G cartridges for $15. Exquisite extracts 4 for $40. Remember to use code DNVR online or mention DNVR in store to take advantage of these High Plains strains holiday deals.
Shady Rays lets you take on the sun with gear built to last and gear that you can have a lot of trust and faith in. You can buy it with no anxiety, no stress, because there's no risk when you shop with Shady Rays. If you don't love them, exchange for a new pair or return them for free within 30 days. Shady Rays always has your back, and right now they also have a deal. It's actually their biggest sale of the year. It's for Black Friday, so don't miss out right now on the best deal for shades, snow goggles, and prescription sunglasses. Go to shadyrays.com and try for yourself. The shades rated 5 stars by over 250,000 people.
I think it's time, boys, to go a little around the association.
Let's go.
A little around the association. What do we have going on around the association today, Dev?
Well, if there's one team, if there's two teams, there's two teams you want to play to get your guys right.
Yeah.
To get your stats up and just beat a team to sleep. It's the Pacers, and it is the Wizards. The Wizards will let you get off, and everybody gets off against them.
Yeah.
142.
Never mind.
Yeah, just
whatever.
get off, man.
142 to 129. Bucks get a win over the Wizards. Giannis, 42 points, 13 rebounds, 8 assists. Monster game.
Is that impressive? I mean, it is a 142-point regulation game. Somebody's going to have numbers.
He was 20 of
20 of
23.
23.
That part's
So,
very
yes.
impressive.
Yeah, we'd be going crazy for that
20
Jokic
of
game.
23.
It's pretty crazy.
That's a Jokic line.
Bro, how about the report that is this a real report that the Wizards do not consider Jordan Poole a cornerstone?
I don't
piece?
know if that was real or not.
I don't know if it was either,
I didn't
man.
really
It's-
care enough to look into
I mean,
it.
you're right, me neither. I saw that. And I was like, that makes sense if they
Wizards
came to that
rumors all
conclusion.
count as true at the same time.
Yeah.
Because who gives a
Especially,
shit,
I mean,
you know?
why would they? Have
Yeah,
you seen
I
them
mean,
play?
it's believable and not believable at the same time.
Yeah.
Man, can I tell you what? The Coach Malone coaching tree, very interesting. Chris Finch, offensive mastermind, got the best defense in the NBA in Minnesota. Wes Unseld, defensive mastermind, worst defense I've ever seen in my life.
It's
I mean-
insane. But Jordan
That
Poole
personnel's
does do
not
it for the
exactly good.
baddies. He had 30 points in this game, so minus 26, but he had them 30 points, so
Minus 26.
wasn't that bad, right?
Poor
At least he
Wes
was
Unseld.
happy. He got himself going. The Clippers get the win over the Spurs. Kawhi versus his old team.
Here come the Clippers.
Paul George had 28 points in this game. Kawhi had 21 points in the game. Yeah, the Clippers they're starting to play well.
Yeah,
James Harden,
pair of
13 and
great
10.
couple wins for them, Rockets and Spurs.
Yeah, big ones, big ones. Wemby, not that good tonight. 9 points, 4 rebounds, or 4 assists, 3 rebounds. The Spurs, they're not good. They just have like a guy that you really want to watch play, but they're not good team. Where do we bounce around to? We'll go to Chicago and Miami.
Hey, CHGO, how are they doing?
Miami got the win. 118 to 100.
Bro, did you guys see this game? Because they just played the doubleheader. Did you see the game last? What was it? 20 to 1 to start,
Yeah.
and then the Bulls won.
We talked about it on ATA last night.
Isn't that crazy? Well, not tonight.
Bam Adebayo had 23 points, 11 rebounds. Duncan Robinson, he's making shots again. He had 22 points in this game. On the other side of things, it was Kobe
I love
White.
Jaime Jaquez, by the way. You guys know I love that Jaime Jaquez. 19
you
points
do.
for him. You got to talk about him. Plus 24.
Yeah, the Miami guy.
Game high.
The Miami guy.
I saw him at dinner at Carbone in Vegas last year. Summer League.
Now for the
Little
game
anecdote,
that
little-
we all
little
wanted to
anecdote,
get
little
around
detail.
to. The Charlotte Hornets get the win over.
Wait, they won? Hold on. I saw Celtics were up 10 late. How did the Hornets
Our
win?
social media guy, Nick, was live texting me play by
Look,
play.
there were some crazy things that happened in this game. Jason Tatum, he went off. Went off in this game. 45 points, 13 rebounds. Not as efficient, but not a horrible game. 15 of 28.
That's pretty good.
But he missed the game-winning free throws.
That's right.
Missed. Also,
but hold on, he went 8 of 10 from the free throw line.
like I said, it was the game winner.
That's the one he missed.
That was the one that he
He made
missed.
all the other ones.
Let me provide a little context.
Reggie Jackson would never.
Would never. Man.
Aaron Gordon would never.
Final possession of overtime after Tatum took a really bad shot. Whatever, that's regulation. That's old news. Final possession of overtime. Celtics are down 3. Tatum brings the ball down the floor, chucks up a 3. He's fouled. He's fouled to go to the free throw line. Hits the first 2. All he needs is one more to send it to.
That's all he needs, man.
But you know what? You know what?
So he made the first 2
Made
and
the
the
first
last
2.
one.
But not everyone is clutch. Jason
Man.
Tatum -5. The bench, all positive in the plus minus.
Wow.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
What was also wild in this game, LaMelo Ball went crazy. And
did.
he's been on a run right now. This was a game against Drew Holiday, so you thought that he would be like bottled up. No. 36 points, 9 rebounds, 8 assists.
Woo.
He went crazy. Guess who hit the game winner? This is when basketball guys don't exist.
Oh, I
is
know.
it Miles
Don't
Bridges?
take the wind out of my sails.
Miles
Smith?
Bridges, the game winner, said, "Oh, this is horrible. This is unethical. This is not right."
Wow.
That was bad.
That's rough, man.
So there's a couple of games that's still going on. Minnesota looks like they're going to get the win over the Knicks.
Yeah.
They're playing well.
Man,
Houston's
is this
beating Golden
you know,
State
the
right now.
Knicks very interested in Karl Anthony Towns. How'd he do tonight? 20 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 steals, 2 blocks. That's actually a really nice line from him. Only
yeah.
took 10 shots to
Towns
get 20
been playing
points.
well.
5, 4, 3, and 2. Man, that's impressive. So he has been playing well.
Hit the game winner.
He had the game winner, and then the other night, and then he also had a great swing pass. He had a good look for 3, kicked it to the corner to Ant. I'm telling you, man, Cat, good job, man. You know what?
Yeah.
Tip my hat to him. Playing the right way.
That's it for a round association.
All right, let's get to some super chats,
Oh,
Gil.
man, what a treat. What a treat. Freddie, the 3 players from our championship run just closed out that game. AG Oop, MPJ Block, and KCP contest at the rim. That's what champions do.
Great take.
The defense
Great
was
take.
really good down the stretch from the Nuggies. Peter Plummer. Love how Reggie is playing this season. Nuggets still a lead on back-to-backs. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's the key.
Brian
I do love how Reggie's playing.
Windland. I cannot begin to fathom how much money these refs made betting on the Jokic no double-double. Pistons +9 parlay. Hope they at least donate some of it.
Yeah.
PS14. There would have been an enormous dark cloud hanging over the team if this was an L. Hoping we can roll into Orlando with some confidence, especially as the Jokic stopper Wendell Carter is out. Thanks from the UK.
Awesome.
That's a good point.
Man, that's a weird road trip when you think about they went to Detroit. Now they were in New Orleans, and then went up to Detroit, now down to Orlando. Like, they're getting their miles in.
55555-ish. If Reggie has 1,000 fans, I'm one of them. If Reggie has 100 fans, I'm one of them. If Reggie has 10 fans, I'm one of them. If Reggie has no fans, I'm no longer on this planet.
Man.
LFG, Nuggets win.
I love the Reggie Jackson redemption story. I love how much Nuggets fans love him. What a cool story, man.
It's the Denver effect these days, man. LVAP. Thanks to the refs, we all got to witness vintage 2016-17 Pistons, Reggie, and KCP. Zeke 3 hits different. That's a great point. It was a big 3, too. 2 of 2 in the last 2 games. THTR 201. Draymond stabs refs, spits in his face, commits vehicular manslaughter. Refs, hey, silly, cut it out. Jokic, my left arm was torn from the socket and my eyes were just gouged out. Refs, offensive foul. Rob Stennett, excuse me. Fellas, thanks for the hang and tour of the studio.
Hell yeah.
Rob, great to meet you, man. Thanks
Great
for
to
coming
meet
through.
you.
coming
Thank you for
down,
that
Rob.
super chat, man.
All the
meet you,
Nuggets
man.
are good.
All the
says.
Nuggets are good. We love it when people come in from out of town. This, he comes in from Austin. By the way, shout out to Austin. We have some Austin people. I know you put together some watch parties down in Austin. Start letting us know. In fact, anybody that throws together a watch, like a satellite watch party in a city outside of Denver, let us know.
Always
man.
let us know.
We'll promote
Yeah.
it, and you never know who will show up. Rob was telling us, I wish there were a meetup, a Nuggets meetup somewhere out in Austin for a game. Now you know, man. There's people looking for it, so we'll put that together for you. Any final thoughts?
One last super chat. How else do we end a lounge? Laking ball. So the Celtics lost. They choked a 9-point lead with 2 minutes left. They
that's
choked it,
tough.
but it's November and a bad loss happens. Vogt hating. Vogt is hating. You're not wrong, man.
Vogt
Your
is
team's really
definitely
good.
hating.
I will be here all year.
Final thoughts, gents?
For me, It was the fact that Aaron Gordon made both free throws.
Oh, I love it.
That was major. That was major. That was a good win, honestly. I feel good about that win.
Man.
It might have turned the vibes around, to be honest.
They win 107-103 and Yoke's not ejected, and we're like, oh, I don't know if that, it doesn't even count.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it happens the way it happened, and you're like, hell yeah. Nugs?
Yeah, on to Orlando. The Mr. Nugget tour continues. Back-to-back Mr. Nugget games.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're right, man. Great point. All Mr. Nuggets coming together. Gary Harris ain't playing in that one, just like Monte Morris.
Gary
ain't
Harris
in
been
this
playing.
one.
He played last night.
Did he play
He's
last
been
night?
playing.
Well, he
13
hasn't
points.
Yeah, what
played.
he's
Played.
doing?
He might have
He's
played
hitting
this
the
last
three
one.
ball is what he's doing.
Yeah.
Is Gary back?
Our old friend Gary
Should the
Harris.
Nuggets
All right,
go get
everybody,
Gary?
thanks for hanging with us for an hour. Avs are up next. Do us a favor, hit that like button on the way out.
We all silly like the mayor.